So I just wanted to check in quickly before the end of the year. This will probably be my last devlog before the end of the year, although maybe I'll get another one out, I'm not too sure yet. But I've not really been working too much on the game this past couple of weeks, and I guess it's like been an unofficial break, a little bit of downtime, but not really, because I'm still working on it every day, sort of 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there and stuff. But it feels like I've not done any of those longer sessions of coding or making assets and things like that, or working on level design and things for sort of an hour or two like that. I've not really done those kinds of things, so it feels like I've taken a bit of a step back, but I'm still keeping it at the forefront of things that I want to do when I've got some spare time. So I have still been working on it, of course. Now I'm sort of raring to go now, that's the thing, and having that little bit of downtime, it's made me raring to go. I've got a little bit more enthusiasm for getting back into it. Unfortunately, over Christmas I'll be going away for about a week, so that means I won't be able to work on the game formally, you know, on my PC, but I will still be taking my iPad with me when I go away for that week. And whenever there's downtime during that week, which I will have, it's a holiday, you know, I'm not going to be working or anything like that, so it means that I'll have time to think about what I want to do with the game going forward in terms of assets, start drawing these assets. And this is going to be like a major part of the production. Once I get into it, I need a lot of these different kinds of assets and backgrounds and things like that are going to make the game varied. As I mentioned many times on these devlogs, that's one of the main focuses of the game. I want it to be varied, and that means drawing a lot of assets. So that gives me an opportunity to do that, which is something I've really been neglecting over the past couple of weeks, or even month really, because I've been focusing on different areas. A lot of what I've been doing the past couple of weeks really has been trying to work out some of the bugs that I've noticed, some of the things like that. So it'll be good just to go back to drawing, you know, these assets and knowing what the game is going to be going forward. And the good thing with that is that it gives me ideas for the game as well. Drawing assets and progressing the backgrounds and the levels, the level ideas and things like that will make a big difference in terms of ideas for the game. While at the same time, I'm very conscious that I don't want to allow scope creep or feature creep to make the project too big. This is something that has been a major concern, and one of the main things that I'm focused on not allowing, to be honest. This is something that has affected projects in the past that I've done, and it means that with this one I'm very conscious of the fact that I know I can get this game finished, and this could be the first game that I release on Steam. In fact, I'm certain it will be. But the important thing with that is that I can't allow too many features to go into the game where it gets unmanageable and I simply can't finish it. And I think of these things all the time, and really I think that I could make it a much better game if I allowed these features to be in it, but I'm not allowing them to be in it simply because I just want to get this finished. And even if it means that this game won't necessarily reach its full potential, then so be it, because I'm so focused on the fact that I want to get this game done, and that's priority one. If I allow too many of these ideas to creep into the game, then it will never get finished, and I can't allow that to happen this time, I suppose. So yeah, it's sort of frustrating on the one hand, but also a little bit liberating when I think that I've just got to keep the game simple, and that's got to be a focus as well. And also over the past couple of weeks, I did send the game out to 3 or 4 friends. I think there was 4 people altogether that I've sent it out to, just to play the first level, the boss battle after that level, and then, you know, it's sort of the second level is very early on, so they sort of play halfway through that as well. Now these aren't really play testers. I guess, you know, I'll get some feedback from them and they'll give me a bit of advice, I suppose, but they're not really, I'm not sending it out with a specific purpose of saying, you know, test the game, get all the bugs or anything like that. I'm not saying that because there's too many bugs. In fact, I sent a list of caveats of saying this is very early on. I know that it's not that good at the moment, but just give me maybe a little bit of feedback in terms of, is this worth progressing and is it worth going forward with? And I think it is. You know, I'm going to go forward with it anyway, but I think it's going to be much harder sending this game out when I'm specifically looking for people to test it and find all the bugs, which this is not that. This was just an earlier version of that. Still a little bit nerve-wracking, but not as nerve-wracking as it's going to be when I've got people playing the game that are going to be trying to break it and trying to say this is simply not working, and I've got to then go back and completely reassess certain parts of the game. And I know that's coming, but yeah, it's not going to be good, but I know it's sort of a necessary process, I suppose, because I've been watching stuff on YouTube, devlogs on YouTube with other people. Everybody says it's not a pleasant thing, but it's necessary, and I understand that, so I'm going to have to do it at some point. The game is just not ready for that at the moment, and I'm well aware of the fact it's not ready, so that's why I've not done it at this early stage, but I will do, I will. So there probably, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there probably won't be any further updates now until January, early January sometime, I would imagine, but from that point on I want to get into, I suppose, what I would call full production, and that's full production from somebody who I've got a day job. This is a hobby still, and that means that full production is just spending as much of my spare time as I can free up to do this kind of stuff, to make the game itself. I'm going to really go quite hard on that in January and February. I want to get the 10 to 20 minute demo done by really the first few months. I'm not putting a deadline on it or anything like that, but I've just got in my mind sort of the first few months of next year in order to get that demo finished. There's a lot of work to do in that time, and that's why I really want to knuckle down and get it done. And I suppose the reason for that is because a lot of what I've been doing over these past 3 months, I think I've been working on the game now, is really just testing the waters, making the first few levels, making a lot of the things which I didn't know how to do in GameMaker before, working out how to do all these things that I want to do in this game, and knowing that I can now do them. It was testing the waters and just seeing, can I make this game if I wanted to progress with it, if I wanted to go forward with it. And now, yes, I know I can make it. It just means a lot of work. So yeah, these 3 months have been an interesting time, and I'm proud of what I've done so far, but there's a lot of work. I want to work out the story, get that finalized. I want to, as I mentioned, draw all these assets, get ideas for levels, and really knuckle down with that level design as well, which is one of the hardest parts I'm finding. But I've got a few ideas with that as well. So yeah, January next year, 2025, is the year that I really want to get this game finished. I do. Like I mentioned, it's not going to be a big game, it's not going to be a long game, 2 hours, 2.5 hours long in total. If I can get to that point, it's sort of my goal, I suppose. Yeah, so if I can get it done, I think I can do it within a year in total. So hopefully 2025 will be the year that this gets released. These are famous last words, of course, because we all know, as everybody says who is a game developer, things take 2 or 3 times as long as you expect. If it skips into sort of 2026, then that's fine, but I don't want it to go too much beyond that. But yeah, this is a journey for me anyway, so I'm grateful that you're joining me for it in these devlogs. So please continue to watch. If you're interested in Drawn Before, wishlist it on Steam. All the links and everything are in the description to this video. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.